two last things. One, this is my friend Mary Taylor, and she was really excited to be on the show. She opened up the studio just March 29th, just a few days ago, this past weekend. And she told me that it's been a dream of hers to be on a podcast, and now her dream has come true. So, really, I was debating cancer on that, but I really can't cancel because it's too hard to cancel. But that's Mary, and so this will, as I said, hopefully be published either tonight or tomorrow. So you can stay tuned. This is one that is really exciting. And I let her push a button. I've got all the audio clips on the screen, and I let her push a button to the end. But here is a little video. It's on our Facebook page and YouTube page. But here is give you just a short recap. Hopefully, entice you to it.
Hey, Special Chronicles. This is Daniel.
And where are you?
Who is that?
And we just finished recording episode 136 Special Chronicles podcast for you in studio. And what did we talk about?
We talked about being a government officer and talking about what we were wrong with about diagnosis.
And we coined the term.
You're going to champion the term.
We're going to champion and change the term disability to disability. And she's in Jiwon, and the Daniel's on the show. We will hold blows.
My dad inspired us with some nice advice about me. Like, I was born with Down syndrome, had good family, good aunts, uncles, and cousins who are there for me. So thank you for that.
You inspire us, Mallory. Thank you. And you do too. Yeah, as well, Dan.
And we will live tweet. I wasn't live tweeting. But, well, let's just say that from S+C podcast, I think. And, anything else you want to say?
I just want to say thank you guys for being on the podcast, and it's been a human mind to be on a podcast.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun, and make sure you guys can come and see us live, a live broadcast, April 25th, to open to such a time.
Great.
Armand's Pizzeria on South of Grand Road.
Yes.
Yep, we'll be there. Signing up.
You'll get to see your dad.
There we go. It's recorded. I can't see this one.
Oh, yeah.
It's still recording?
It's still recording.
Okay, say hi.
This gives you a little look of what the studio looks like now. Very small. I can actually lie down in bed and edit, so it's kind of nice. You guys are all invited to Market Calendars. We have a one page. If you go onto the Special Chronicles page, you can join it and find all the details. And one, there's a little change that just found out last night, but that got popular demand. We have an all-new Special Chronicles live podcast at Amandi's Pizzeria, which is in LaGrange. You just take the BD and the South line on the Mugshot, and it's like within walking distance south of the tracks. And my friend Georgia, that you saw in the video, and she wasn't co-host, but she can't now. But some other friends, Mary that you just saw, she will be there, and our mission is to give voice and way to empower all of us people with special needs. And we're going to inform, inspire, and entertain a live audience of listeners. We'll give away one T-shirt. And if you buy, you can invite your friends, but if you buy any food or drinks along Pizzeria LaGrange, we'll be donating 10% of the proceeds back to Special Chronicles. So this is the first time that we've done live podcasts at other events, but this is the first time we're inviting our own live audience of listeners. So hopefully you guys can come on out. Here's a 50-second promo to kind of give you an idea of what a live podcast is for Special Chronicles. facebook.com/watch live. And if you want to contact me, here's my email, Twitter, Facebook, as well as Special Chronicles, Twitter and Facebook. And before we leave, I thought we could take one selfie for the day of Special Chronicles. If we can do this way, I don't know.
You have all of us.
I don't know. Yeah, but it's not that good.
Not the girl. Or do you want me to take a picture of you guys?
Sure. You let me one more time and then we'll. Not these young kids all, but so yeah. Thank you for listening in. We have a flyer that has more information about Special Chronicles as well as an article about the importance of people post language.
We have like a few minutes. Do you have any questions that you have? Excuse me.
I have a question about the term differently abled or disabled. Someone told me about that a couple months ago, and I'm not really fully clear on why like disabled or disabilities has like a negative connotation.
To answer that question, I could explain, but I'll refer to my friend Tim Scheibel in his book about the term. I hope he's answering the question about the term disability. He said it's not a typo and it's not a generally accepted word either. I use it. It often calls with the jog my consciousness looking out of the dis mindset that so often includes subtle assumptions of a lack of ability and negativity. Diff, D-I-F, on the other hand, invites the one condition that there are a million abilities that each of us has, and many different ones. Some advocates in the disability world do not like the word disability because they have been shown that it diminishes the weight and pride that people can and should take in who they are, disabilities and all. I understand this sentiment and respect it. At the same time, I think using the word disability can help. Hopefully, does that help answer? Hopefully that. And that's on page 180 of the principles.
Thanks.
Any other?
Let's give them another round. Of how he extended his voice using the podcast. And if you have a speech disorder, people usually think that you will get a job that doesn't need you to speak, right? But he used, his weakest part of himself, to give hope and inspiration to others by sharing, those stories. So if those people with disabilities, speech disorder, do not share their stories because, okay, I have speech disorder, so I don't want to talk about this. Like, how can we know about their issue, what they are experiencing, and how can we, kind of hear their stories? So I really appreciate that he's making his passion out of his biggest, parts of himself. And I had them in my 2 different classes of mine. And he never used his, special needs as an excuse to give me he was never late with an assignment. He was the one who always started early. So right after I give an assignment, he's the one who kind of start early, asking me for feedback. Can you see me my work in progress? So it was really also impressive for me to see that, he has all those excuses to make, but he never made his learning disability as an excuse to turn something late or not do it. So that was also very, inspiring for me to see that, he's not just saying those things, let's make the difference, but he's also doing his best to overcome those obstacles. So I hope that you can support his work by subscribing to his podcast, follow him on Twitter or Facebook, and contact him, whenever you need it.
And we also have an email list that you can add your email or text messages. And we just, this morning, we did about 2,000 followers on Twitter.